Welcome back, warriors of the storm, our GrimFace family. To those of you who've been here before, thank you for continuing to march beside us. Your courage, your resilience, your refusal to give in to a world that wasn't made for you, it fuels this movement. You're living proof that no matter how harsh the storm, we march on. And to those joining us for the first time, welcome. You found your way to the edge of a movement that thrives in the shadows, built for those who refuse to fit the mold. This is a sanctuary for the misfits, the rebels, the black sheep. But make no mistake, this path isn't for everyone. It's a path of grit, sacrifice, and unrelenting discipline. Because the truth is this: the current state of the world, the socioeconomic landscape, it's rigged. It wasn't built for us. It was built to break us. But we are not here to survive. We are here to conquer. And to do that, we must go further, push harder, and embrace discipline like our lives depend on it. Because they do. Today, we're taking the first step in a new journey. A journey that begins with Lesson 1, passion and perseverance. Drive success. Passion alone is not enough. It fades. It weakens. It falters when the road gets tough. But when passion is bound to perseverance, when it's backed by unrelenting grit, that's when we become unstoppable. This is the foundation, the starting point, the lesson that will shape the way you march forward against a world that wants you to fail. Are you ready to take that first step? To learn what it takes to fuel your passion with perseverance and rise above the chaos? Because this world wasn't made for us, so we will carve out our own place in it. And it starts now. Lesson 1, passion and perseverance. Drive success. What separates the ordinary from the extraordinary? What makes one soul rise when the rest crumble under the weight of adversity? It's not talent. It's not luck. It's something deeper, something darker, something forged in the fires of relentless struggle. Grit. Grit. A word that reeks of sweat, blood, and sacrifice. It's not glamorous. It doesn't shine in the spotlight or glitter with instant gratification. Grit is ugly. Grit is dirty. And grit is essential. It's the quiet force that sustains you when passion fades and the world tells you to quit. It's the determination to claw your way forward when every muscle in your body screams for you to stop. Passion. Yes, passion is the spark that lights the fire. But passion isn't just about excitement or enthusiasm. It's not fleeting. True passion isn't found in bursts of inspiration. It's found in dedication. It's found in consistency. Passion is waking up every day with the same relentless commitment to your goals, even when you don't feel like it. It's the refusal to abandon your dreams, even when the road is littered with obstacles, heartbreak, and failure. Understand this: passion alone will not carry you. It burns bright, but without perseverance, it's a fire that dies out when the winds of adversity blow. That's where grit steps in, the fuel that keeps the fire burning when the world grows cold. Grit takes your passion and tempers it into something unbreakable. It teaches you to endure, to persist, to press on no matter how steep the climb or how dark the path. But grit is not given. It's not inherited. It is forged in the crucible of hardship. Every setback, every rejection, every failure, these are the hammer blows that shape you. They test your resolve. They demand that you decide. Will you let this defeat you, or will you rise again? Will you falter, or will you endure? Let me be clear. The road to success is long. It is grueling. It will strip you down to your core, exposing your weaknesses, your fears, your doubts. But here's the truth most people don't want to hear. This is where the real work begins. This is where you decide whether you will break or whether you will break through. You see, passion without perseverance is like a blade without a hilt. Sharp, but useless. It cannot withstand the battles ahead. Perseverance without passion, on the other hand, is like a hilt without a blade. Sturdy, but ineffective. But together, they are a weapon. Together, they are unstoppable. The world will not hand you success. It will not pave your path with gold. If you want it, you will have to bleed for it. You will have to fight for it. You will have to refuse to give up, even when your body is battered and your spirit is shattered. This is the essence of grit. This is the key to greatness. So I ask you, what are you willing to endure for your dreams? Are you prepared to face the pain, the failure, the endless grind? Are you willing to sacrifice your comfort, your complacency, your excuses? Because success does not come to those who merely want it. It comes to those who relentlessly pursue it. Grit is not for the faint of heart. It's not for the weak. It's for those who understand that true passion is not a fleeting emotion, but a steadfast commitment. It's for those who are willing to endure, to persist, to keep going, even when every fiber of their being wants to quit. Passion and perseverance. Together, they will carry you through the darkness. Together, they will guide you to the summit. Together, they will make you unstoppable. The question is, do you have the grit to see it through? Or will you fall like so many before you, crushed by the weight of your own doubts? Decide now. Decide today. Because the path of passion and perseverance is not just a path to success. It's a war, and only the relentless survive. Lesson 2. The growth mindset is crucial. They say failure is the greatest teacher, but how many of us truly listen to its lessons? How many of us embrace the sting of defeat, the humiliation of setbacks, and the agony of inadequacy as gifts? Yes, gifts that forge us into something greater. Most run from failure. They see it as an enemy, a black mark on their self-worth. But here's the brutal truth. Those who fear failure are doomed to mediocrity. Because without failure, there is no growth. Without falling, there is no rising stronger. Without being broken, there is no becoming unbreakable. This is the essence of the growth mindset. It is not simply believing that you can improve. It is knowing, deep in your core, that every challenge, every defeat, every ounce of pain is a stepping stone toward mastery. It is the refusal to let failure define you. It is the relentless pursuit of becoming better, no matter how many times you stumble, no matter how many times the world knocks you down. The fixed mindset? It is a prison. It tells you that your abilities are static, that you are who you are and will never be more. It whispers lies, soft, seductive lies that make you comfortable in your mediocrity. It tells you to avoid risk, to fear challenge, to stay small and safe. But the growth mindset? It is liberation. It tells you that your potential is infinite, but it comes with a price. The price is effort. The price is persistence. The price is enduring failure after failure without losing your resolve. It tells you that nothing worth having comes easily, and that every failure is a brick in the foundation of your success. Think about it. Every time you fail, you have a choice. You can see it as a wall, immovable and insurmountable. Or you can see it as a door, a painful, grueling door that forces you to dig deeper, think harder, and fight stronger than you ever thought possible. The question is not whether you will fail. It's whether you will let that failure break you or build you. But make no mistake, a growth mindset does not come naturally. It is not an innate gift. It is a discipline, a choice you must make every single day. It requires you to look at your flaws and shortcomings, not with shame, but with curiosity. It requires you to confront your failures, not with despair, but with hunger. It requires you to push past the limits of your comfort zone over and over again until discomfort becomes your new normal. It's easy to say, "I'll try again." But the growth mindset demands more. It demands that you not only try again, but that you try smarter, harder, and better. It demands that you learn from your failures, not just endure them. It demands that you strip away the excuses, the blame, the self-pity, and ask yourself one simple question: what can I learn from this? Every setback is a mirror, reflecting the areas where you are weak, unprepared, or inadequate. The fixed mindset will look away, afraid of what it sees. But the growth mindset, it will stare into that mirror with unflinching honesty and say, "Good, now I know where to improve." And here's the darkest truth of all. Growth is painful. It is slow. It is unforgiving. It will demand sacrifices. Sacrifices of your ego, your comfort, and sometimes even your pride. But that pain is the price of transformation. That pain is the crucible in which grit is forged. That pain is the proof that you are alive, striving, evolving. So the next time you fail, the next time the world slams a door in your face, don't ask, "Why me?" Ask, "What now?" Don't shrink from the challenge. Rise to meet it. Don't curse the struggle. Embrace it. Because the growth mindset is not just about becoming better. It's about becoming unstoppable. It's about taking every setback, every failure, every ounce of pain, and using it as fuel to drive you forward. It's about turning your weaknesses into strengths, your doubts into determination, and your failures into stepping stones toward greatness. The world will not hand you growth. It will not hand you success, but it will hand you challenges, obstacles, and failures. And what you do with them, that is what defines you. So I ask you, do you have the courage to adopt the growth mindset? Do you have the grit to see failure not as an end, but as a beginning? Do you have the strength to look at your pain, your mistakes, your inadequacies, and say, "Thank you. You will make me stronger"? Decide now. Because the growth mindset is not for the faint-hearted. It is for those who refuse to be defined by their failures. It is for those who are willing to endure the pain of growth for the glory of transformation. And if you choose this path, know this: you will fall. You will fail. You will suffer. But in the end, you will rise. You will conquer. You will become something the world cannot ignore. The growth mindset is crucial. The question is, do you have the will to embrace it? Lesson 3. Purpose fuels passion. Passion. It's a word thrown around like it's all you need to fuel your journey. But passion alone is fleeting, fragile, a candle in the storm, easily extinguished when the winds of adversity howl. True, unrelenting passion must be tied to something deeper, something unshakable. That something is purpose. Purpose is not a luxury, it's a necessity. Without purpose, passion withers. Without purpose, grit crumbles. Purpose is the fire that burns when motivation runs dry. It's the anchor that holds you steady when the storms of life rage. It's the reason you get up when the weight of the world tries to pin you down. But let me tell you this: purpose isn't handed to you. It isn't a gift that falls into your lap. Purpose must be hunted, fought for, and forged in the crucible of introspection. It doesn't come easy, and it sure as hell doesn't come without sacrifice. You have to dig deep into the darkest corners of your soul, confront your fears, your doubts, your pain, and ask yourself, why am I here? What am I willing to fight for? You see, passion is selfish. It's about what excites you, what drives you, what makes you feel alive. But purpose is selfless. It's about what you can give, what you can contribute, what impact you can make. And when you tie your passion to your purpose, you create something unstoppable, something eternal. Passion ignites the fire, but purpose keeps it burning. Purpose transforms your work from a mere pursuit into a mission. It takes your interests, your skills, your desires, and aligns them with something far greater than yourself. And when your passion serves a purpose, when it becomes a force for something bigger, you become a force of nature. But purpose isn't always noble or grand. It doesn't need to be. Purpose isn't about saving the world. It's about finding your world, your reason, your cause. Maybe it's your family. Maybe it's your art. Maybe it's a desire to break free from mediocrity, to prove to the world and to yourself that you are capable of more. Here's the hard truth. A life without purpose is hollow. It doesn't matter how much passion you have if it isn't anchored to something meaningful. Passion without purpose is a high without substance, a rush without direction. It fades, leaving you empty and lost. Purpose gives you direction. It gives your passion a reason to endure. And yes, finding purpose is painful. It requires stripping away the layers of who you think you are, of what society tells you to be, until you stand raw and vulnerable before the truth. It's not about chasing what's easy or comfortable. It's about facing what's necessary. Purpose demands that you align your passion with a goal that matters, a goal that scares you, a goal that forces you to evolve into someone stronger, someone better. But here's the beauty of purpose. When you find it, it sustains you in ways you never imagined. It makes the struggle worth it. It makes the pain bearable. It makes every failure, every setback, every sleepless night feel like a step towards something greater. Think about it. Why do soldiers fight? Why do artists create? Why do entrepreneurs build? It's not for the money or the fame. It's for the purpose, the belief that what they do matters, that their efforts, their sacrifices, their lives are part of something bigger than themselves. So I ask you, what is your purpose? What drives you when the excitement fades? What keeps you moving when passion alone is not enough? Is it your family? Is it your legacy? Is it the desire to leave this world better than you found it? Don't fool yourself into thinking purpose will come to you. You have to go out and find it. And once you do, once you tie your passion to your purpose, you become unstoppable. Purpose doesn't just fuel passion. It transforms it into something eternal. The world will try to distract you. It will try to seduce you with comfort, with complacency, with the hollow promises of instant gratification. But remember this, comfort is the enemy of purpose. Purpose is born in struggle. It is forged in the fires of adversity. It thrives in the darkness where most fear to tread. So find your purpose, fight for it, align your passion with it. And when you do, you will discover a power within you that no obstacle, no failure, no force in this world can extinguish. Purpose fuels passion. Purpose sustains grit. Purpose transforms lives. The question is, are you brave enough to find yours? Lesson 4. Effort is key to mastery. Mastery. It's a word that gets thrown around as if it's something you can stumble upon, something that might one day fall into your lap if you're lucky enough or talented enough. But let me be brutally clear. Mastery is not a gift. It's not a stroke of luck. It is a price you pay in blood, sweat, and relentless effort. Effort. That's the one word most people fear, isn't it? Because effort demands consistency, sacrifice, and patience. It's not glamorous. It doesn't offer immediate rewards. But let me tell you something. Talent without effort is meaningless. Inspiration without effort is fleeting. Effort is the bridge between mediocrity and greatness. Without it, your dreams are nothing but fantasies. Angela Duckworth speaks of deliberate practice, a method that's as painful as it is powerful. It's not just about showing up. It's about showing up with purpose. It's about identifying your weaknesses, exposing your flaws, and attacking them with a ruthless focus. It's not fun. It's not easy. But it's necessary. Deliberate practice demands that you strip away your illusions of competence. It forces you to confront the brutal reality of where you fall short. And that's where the magic happens. Not in doing what you're already good at, but in grinding through the areas where you are weak, where you are vulnerable, where you are most likely to fail. But here's the truth. Most people don't want to hear. Effort is boring. It's repetitive. It's exhausting. It's the daily grind of doing the same thing over and over again, refining it bit by bit, inch by inch, until you master it. It's not the adrenaline rush of a breakthrough or the euphoria of success. It's the quiet, grueling work that no one sees, that no one applauds, but that ultimately makes all the difference. We live in a world obsessed with bursts of intensity. The all-nighter, the crash diet, the sudden sprint toward a goal. But mastery doesn't come from bursts of intensity. It comes from consistent effort over time. The kind of effort that grinds down mountains, that carves rivers into stone. The kind of effort that doesn't quit, that doesn't make excuses, that doesn't wait for motivation to show up. You want to master something? Then show up every day. Not just when you feel inspired, not just when it's convenient. Every single day. Because mastery isn't about what you do when you're feeling good. It's about what you do when you're tired, when you're frustrated, when the world is against you, and you still refuse to quit. But let's not sugarcoat this. Effort is painful. It's lonely. It's waking up early when the rest of the world is still asleep. It's staying late when everyone else has gone home. It's sacrificing your comforts, your distractions, your excuses. It's pushing through the days when progress feels invisible, when it feels like you're running in place, when every step forward feels like a war against your own limitations. And that's the point. Effort isn't supposed to be easy. It's supposed to hurt. It's supposed to test you, to stretch you, to break you down, so you can build yourself back up stronger. Every hour you put in, every ounce of sweat, every moment of struggle, it's all a part of the process of becoming, the process of mastery. But here's the dark truth. Most will never understand. Mastery has no finish line. It's not a destination you reach. It's a journey you commit to for life. You will never be done. There will always be more to learn, more to improve, more to conquer. And that's why effort is key. Because effort isn't about achieving perfection. It's about relentless progression. It's about becoming better today than you were yesterday, no matter how small the improvement. So I ask you, are you willing to endure the grind? Are you willing to face the discomfort, the boredom, the pain of deliberate practice? Are you willing to sacrifice the fleeting satisfaction of shortcuts for the lasting fulfillment of mastery? Because effort doesn't lie. It doesn't care about your excuses. It doesn't care about your potential. It only rewards those who show up, day after day, with the grit to keep going when others have long since given up. Mastery isn't for everyone. It's for the relentless, the disciplined, the ones who are willing to put in the work, no matter how long it takes, no matter how hard it gets. It's for those who understand that effort is not just the price of admission, it's the path itself. Effort is the key to mastery. The only question that remains is, do you have what it takes to keep turning the key, day after day, until the door finally opens? Lesson 5. Resilience is built through hardship. Resilience. The word alone tastes bitter, doesn't it? Because it's not something handed to you, not something you inherit or stumble upon. Resilience is forged in fire. It is carved into your soul by hardship, by suffering, by the relentless grind of life breaking you down over and over again, until you're left with a choice. Stay broken, or rise. This world doesn't care about your comfort. It doesn't care about your plans. It will throw storms your way that rip through everything you thought was safe, everything you thought was certain. And in those moments, when the ground crumbles beneath your feet and the air feels too heavy to breathe, you'll learn who you really are. Understand this. Resilience isn't about avoiding pain. It's about enduring it. It's about standing tall in the face of adversity, even when every instinct tells you to fall. It's about taking the punches, the failures, the betrayals, and letting them mold you into something stronger, harder, unbreakable. But here's the hard truth. Resilience is not a gift. It's not something you're born with. It's a muscle. And like any muscle, it must be trained. And training is pain. It's failure. It's humiliation. It's the long nights, the hard decisions, the moments when you think you've given everything and still have to give more. You don't build resilience by avoiding hardship. You build it by facing it head on, by walking straight into the storm with nothing but grit in your veins and fire in your heart. Every challenge you overcome, every setback you endure, every defeat you rise from, it's all a part of the process. It's all sharpening you, hardening you, preparing you for the battles ahead. Do you want to know the secret? Life doesn't get easier. The challenges don't stop coming. But you can get stronger. You can train yourself to face the chaos, the pain, the uncertainty, and not flinch. You can learn to see setbacks not as failures, but as stepping stones. Because every time you're knocked down, every time the world tells you no, it's an opportunity to rise, an opportunity to prove, not to them but to yourself, that you will not be broken. But make no mistake, resilience isn't pretty. It's not inspirational quotes and feel-good moments. It's ugly. It's messy. It's crying in the dark when no one's watching. It's clawing your way out of the pit when there's nothing left but your will to survive. It's dragging yourself forward inch by bloody inch when the weight of the world is crushing you. And here's the thing. The world loves to talk about success, about achievement, about glory. But resilience is what happens in the shadows. It's what happens when no one's watching. It's the struggle that no one sees, the pain that no one acknowledges, the fight that no one applauds. But without it, success is impossible. You don't become resilient by staying safe. You don't build grit by avoiding failure. You become resilient by stepping into the fire, by daring to take risks, by embracing the pain as part of the process. The scars you earn along the way, they're not signs of weakness. They're proof that you've survived, that you've endured, that you've grown stronger than the forces that tried to break you. So stop running from hardship. Stop fearing failure. Start welcoming the struggle. Because every challenge you face, every setback you endure, every moment of pain is shaping you into something greater. Resilience is the cornerstone of grit. It's the armor that protects you, the foundation that holds you steady, the strength that allows you to keep moving forward, even when the path is dark and uncertain. But here's the question you need to ask yourself. Are you willing to embrace the pain? Are you willing to let it teach you, strengthen you, transform you? Are you willing to see your hardships not as roadblocks, but as the very building blocks of your resilience? Because the truth is this: life will knock you down, again and again and again. And every time it does, you will face a choice. Stay down or rise, quit or fight, break or rebuild. Resilience isn't built in the moments of ease. It's built in the moments of struggle. It's built in the moments when everything feels impossible, and yet you keep going. It's built when you take the pain, the failure, the rejection, and you let it forge you into something unshakable. So I ask you, will you let life break you? Or will you rise from the ashes, stronger, harder, more resilient than ever before? Resilience is built through hardship. The question is, do you have the courage to embrace the fire? Lesson 6. Grit can be cultivated. Grit. It's not something you're born with. It's not some mystical trait that a chosen few possess, while the rest are doomed to mediocrity. No, grit is earned. Grit is forged. And the brutal truth? You can cultivate it, if you're willing to pay the price. The world would have you believe that success is reserved for the talented, the lucky, the naturally gifted. But they're wrong. Talent is overrated. Luck is unreliable. And gifts? Gifts fade. What remains, what separates the ordinary from the extraordinary, is grit. That relentless drive to keep going when the odds are stacked against you, when the road ahead seems endless, when every step forward feels like dragging yourself through fire. But here's the good news. Grit is not fixed. It's not some static quality you either have or don't. It's a muscle, and like any muscle, it can be trained, strengthened, and sharpened. You are not stuck with the level of resilience, passion, or perseverance you have today. You can build it. You can become stronger. You can become unstoppable. So how do you cultivate grit? It begins with passion, but not the fleeting kind of passion that fizzles out when things get tough. No, I'm talking about the kind of passion that consumes you, the kind that makes you get up every day and pursue your goals with unrelenting focus. Passion isn't just about loving what you do. It's about committing to it, dedicating yourself to it, even when the excitement fades, even when the obstacles pile up. But passion alone is not enough. Grit demands perseverance. It demands that you show up, day after day, rain or shine, success or failure. Perseverance isn't flashy. It's not glamorous. It's grinding through the hard days, the boring days, the painful days, knowing that every step forward, no matter how small, is a step closer to your goals. And here's where the growth mindset comes in. If you believe that your abilities are set in stone, that failure defines you, that effort is pointless, then grit will always elude you. But if you believe that you can grow, that you can learn, that every failure is a stepping stone to success, then grit becomes inevitable. Because grit thrives in the belief that improvement is always possible, that the struggle is worth it, that the pain has purpose. But let's not stop there. Grit is not cultivated in isolation. It's not just an individual journey. Parents, educators, leaders, you have the power to plant the seeds of grit in others. You have the power to encourage persistence, to demand discipline, to inspire a focus on long-term goals. You have the power to teach those around you that setbacks are not failures, but opportunities. That discipline is not a punishment, but a path to freedom. That grit is not just a tool for survival. It's a weapon for domination. But let me be clear. Cultivating grit is not easy. It's not a quick fix. It's not a motivational poster or a catchy slogan. It's a war against your comfort zone, against your fears, against your excuses. Cultivating grit means embracing discomfort, leaning into the pain, and committing to the long, grueling process of transformation. You see, grit is not about intensity. It's about consistency. Anyone can work hard for a day, a week, a month. But can you keep going for a year, for a decade, for a lifetime? Grit doesn't demand that you sprint. It demands that you endure. It demands that you outlast. It demands that you keep moving forward, no matter how slow, no matter how hard, no matter how hopeless it seems. And here's the darkest truth. Grit will test you. It will push you to your limits and then demand more. It will ask you to sacrifice your comfort, your complacency, your excuses. It will strip you down to your core and force you to confront who you really are. But if you have the courage to endure, the courage to persist, the courage to cultivate grit, then nothing, and I mean nothing, will stand in your way. So I ask you, are you ready to cultivate grit? Are you ready to embrace the discomfort, the struggle, the relentless pursuit of greatness? Are you ready to push past the limits you thought defined you? To grow into the person you were always meant to be? Because grit is not a gift. It is not a talent. It is a choice. A choice to rise when you fall. A choice to fight when you're tired. A choice to keep going when everyone else has given up. And if you make that choice, day after day, year after year, then there is no force on this earth that can stop you. Grit can be cultivated. The question is, will you do what it takes to cultivate yours? Lesson 7. The importance of a grit culture. Look around you. Who do you stand beside? Who do you walk with? Who do you listen to when the world grows silent and the doubts creep in? Because let me tell you this, your environment matters. The people you choose to surround yourself with will either sharpen your edge or dull your blade. And in this life, only the sharp survive. A gritty culture. It's not just a luxury, it's a lifeline. If you want to rise, if you want to endure, if you want to become the force of nature you were meant to be, you need to be part of a culture that doesn't flinch in the face of hardship. A culture that values persistence over perfection. A culture that doesn't coddle weakness, but demands resilience, discipline, and a relentless focus on the long game. You see, grit is contagious. When you stand shoulder to shoulder with individuals who refuse to quit, who stare down adversity and laugh in its face, who keep moving forward no matter how brutal the path, something inside you changes. Their grit becomes your grit. Their fire fuels your own. And before you know it, you're not just surviving, you're thriving in the storm. But let me be brutally honest. A gritty culture isn't easy to find. Most people don't want grit. They want comfort. They want shortcuts. They want the illusion of success without the pain of the process. These people will drag you down, sap your energy, and poison your potential. They will whisper doubts into your ear, plant seeds of complacency in your mind, and celebrate your failures because it makes them feel better about their own mediocrity. You don't need those people. You need warriors. You need builders. You need relentless souls who understand that success isn't given. It's earned through sweat, sacrifice, and unyielding persistence. You need a culture that holds you accountable, that pushes you to your limits, that forces you to become stronger, harder, better. But here's the dark truth. You can't just stumble into a gritty culture. You have to seek it out. You have to create it. And yes, you may have to burn bridges along the way. You may have to leave behind the comfort of mediocrity, the people who hold you back, the habits that chain you to the ground. Because grit thrives in the fire, not the shadows. It demands an environment that challenges you, not one that coddles you. A gritty culture doesn't just inspire you, it transforms you. It teaches you to see failure as fuel, setbacks as stepping stones, and pain as proof of progress. It demands that you rise when you fall, that you fight when you're tired, that you persist when every fiber of your being wants to quit. And when you're part of such a culture, something incredible happens. You stop fearing the struggle. You start embracing it. You begin to crave the challenge because you know it's shaping you into something unstoppable. But it's not just about what you take. It's about what you give. In a gritty culture, you're not just a participant. You're a builder. You become the fire that ignites others. Your persistence inspires those around you. Your resilience becomes a beacon for those who are struggling. And in lifting others, you strengthen yourself. Organizations, communities, teams, they thrive or wither based on their culture. A gritty culture doesn't celebrate talent. It celebrates effort. It doesn't reward quick wins. It rewards relentless commitment. It doesn't crumble under pressure. It rises stronger and more united than before. And when you're part of such a culture, your excuses die. Your doubts fade. Your limits shatter. So I ask you, who do you surround yourself with? Are they building you up or tearing you down? Are they pushing you forward or pulling you back? Are they fueling your fire or smothering your spark? Because the truth is this: you become the environment you immerse yourself in. If you want grit, you need to live in it, breathe it, and bleed for it. But don't wait for someone to create that culture for you. Be the one who builds it. Be the one who sets the standard. Be the one who refuses to let mediocrity take root. Demand excellence from yourself and from those around you. Because when you do, you don't just build a culture, you build a legacy. Grit is not an individual endeavor. It's a collective force. And when you align yourself with gritty individuals, when you immerse yourself in a culture that values persistence, resilience, and the relentless pursuit of long-term goals, you become unstoppable. The importance of a gritty culture cannot be overstated. The question is, will you rise to create it, or will you let mediocrity consume you? Lesson 8. The role of routine and discipline. Motivation. It's a liar. It's fleeting, unreliable, a spark that ignites but fades as quickly as it came. Motivation will abandon you the moment the road gets hard, the moment the weight of your dreams feels unbearable. And when it does, what will you have left? The answer is discipline. Discipline doesn't care how you feel. It doesn't care if you're tired, if you're uninspired, if the world seems to conspire against you. Discipline shows up when motivation fails. It is the foundation, the structure, the unbreakable spine that holds you steady when everything else crumbles. But here's the truth most don't want to hear. Discipline isn't sexy. It's not glamorous. It's not the kind of thing people write about in feel-good self-help books. Discipline is gritty. It's repetitive. It's the daily grind of doing what needs to be done, not because you want to, but because you must. And that's where routine comes in. Routine is the weapon you wield to conquer chaos. It is the shield that protects you from distractions, from doubts, from the endless noise of a world that wants to pull you off course. Routine takes the mental effort out of consistency. It removes the question, the hesitation, the internal battle of should I or shouldn't I? With a solid routine, the answer is always the same. You will. Understand this. The brain craves efficiency. It will always seek the path of least resistance. That's why habits, both good and bad, form so easily. If you don't create routines that align with your goals, your brain will create ones that align with your comfort. And comfort is the enemy of greatness. Routine and discipline are the silent assassins of mediocrity. They don't need applause. They don't need recognition. They work quietly, in the background, turning small, consistent actions into monumental results. They strip away the excuses, the laziness, the weakness, leaving behind only progress. Raw, undeniable progress. But make no mistake, building discipline is a war. It's a war against your impulses, your excuses, your desire for instant gratification. It's waking up early when every bone in your body screams for more sleep. It's hitting the gym when your muscles ache and your mind begs for rest. It's putting in the work when the work feels thankless, when no one is watching, when the results seem miles away. Routine is your ally in this war. It simplifies the struggle. It eliminates the noise. It turns effort into habit, and habit into instinct. With the right routine, discipline becomes second nature. You don't question whether or not you'll work toward your goals. You simply do it, day after day, until the grind becomes who you are. But let's be clear, routine is not a prison. It is a foundation. It is not meant to restrict you, but to free you from the chaos of indecision, from the mental exhaustion of fighting your impulses. Routine allows you to focus your energy where it matters, on the relentless pursuit of your long-term goals. And here's the darkest truth of all. Discipline and routine will not make the journey easier. They will not spare you from pain, from failure, from struggle, but they will make the journey possible. They will keep you moving forward when the weight of your dreams feels too heavy to bear. They will ensure that you keep showing up, keep putting in the work, keep grinding toward the person you are meant to become. So I ask you, do you have the courage to embrace the grind? To sacrifice your comforts, your distractions, your excuses? Are you willing to build a routine that serves your goals? To train your discipline until it becomes unshakable? To live a life that most will never understand because they lack the strength to endure it? Routine and discipline are not optional. They are not negotiable. They are the price of greatness. They are the path to mastery. They are the tools that transform fleeting motivation into lasting results. The world will try to seduce you with shortcuts, with quick fixes, with empty promises of effortless success. But remember this, the ones who succeed are not the ones who rely on motivation. They are the ones who rely on discipline. They are the ones who build routines that keep them moving forward, no matter how hard, no matter how long, no matter how hopeless it seems. Discipline is not a choice. It is a necessity. Routine is not a burden. It is a weapon. Together, they are unstoppable. Together, they are the key to everything you've ever wanted. The importance of routine and discipline cannot be overstated. The question is, will you wield them, or will you let your potential die in the chaos of inaction? Lesson 9. Happiness and success go hand in hand. Happiness. The word itself feels fragile, doesn't it? Like some fleeting dream that vanishes the moment you reach for it. We're told to chase it, to prioritize it, to make it the centerpiece of our lives. But here's the truth. No one wants to tell you. Happiness is not something you chase. It's something you earn. And it doesn't come from comfort or ease or instant gratification. It comes from struggle. It comes from grit. It comes from the pursuit of something meaningful. Happiness and success. They are not opposites. They are not two separate paths. They are one and the same, forged from the same fire, built from the same relentless pursuit of goals that matter. But here's the kicker. True happiness doesn't come from the destination. It comes from the climb, the grind, the pain of pushing yourself past your limits for something greater than yourself. Grit. That's the bridge between happiness and success. Gritty people don't waste their lives chasing empty pleasures, fleeting highs, or shallow victories. They don't settle for meaningless goals that bring temporary joy, but leave them hollow inside. No, gritty people know that true happiness, real, unshakable happiness, comes from pursuing something that matters, something that challenges them, something that forces them to grow. But let's not sugarcoat it. The pursuit of meaningful goals is brutal. It's not all smiles and inspiration. It's long nights, hard decisions, and endless sacrifices. It's failure after failure, setback after setback. But here's the paradox. That struggle, that pain, that relentless grind, that's where fulfillment is born. That's where happiness lives. Not in the absence of difficulty, but in the conquest of it. And let me tell you this, The external rewards, the money, the recognition, the accolades, they're hollow without the internal victory. Long-term success isn't about what you achieve. It's about who you become in the process. It's about looking in the mirror and knowing, without a shadow of a doubt, that you've earned every inch of your progress, that you've fought for it, that you've bled for it, that no one can take it from you. You see, happiness isn't the absence of struggle. It's the presence of meaning. It's the knowledge that your pain, your effort, your sacrifices, they're not wasted. They're building something. They're shaping you. They're leading you to a life that matters. But most people won't get this. Most people spend their lives chasing comfort, avoiding pain, settling for mediocrity because it's easier. And then they wonder why they feel empty, why their success feels hollow, why their happiness never lasts. The answer is simple. They have no grit. They have no fire. They have no goals that demand more from them than they're willing to give. But you're different. You're here because you know there's more to life than comfort. You're here because you're willing to endure the struggle, to embrace the grind, to chase goals that terrify you because they matter. You're here because you understand that happiness and success are not handed out like prizes. They are earned through grit, through perseverance, through relentless effort. And here's the truth. Gritty people are happy, not because their lives are easy, but because their lives are meaningful. Every failure, every setback, every ounce of pain, it's all worth it because it's leading them somewhere. It's shaping them into someone stronger, someone better, someone unstoppable. So I ask you, what are you chasing? Is it comfort? Is it mediocrity? Or is it something that sets your soul on fire? Something that forces you to grow? Something that makes the struggle worth it? Are you willing to endure the pain, the failure, the grind, knowing that on the other side lies a happiness that cannot be shaken? Because here's the dark truth. The easy path will never fulfill you. The shallow goals will never sustain you. True happiness, true success, they demand sacrifice. They demand grit. They demand that you rise every time you fall, that you keep moving forward even when the road feels endless, that you refuse to quit because you know that what you're fighting for is worth it. Happiness and success go hand in hand, but they are not handed to you. They are not gifts. They are the spoils of war, the rewards for those who dare to fight, who dare to bleed, who dare to pursue something greater than themselves. The question is, do you have the grit to earn them? Lesson 10. Passion takes time. Passion. The word feels electric, doesn't it? Like it holds the secret to unlocking everything you've ever wanted. But here's the truth. No one tells you. Passion is not a spark. It's not some magical life-changing moment where everything clicks into place. No, passion is a slow burn. It is not discovered. It is built. It is forged through time, effort, and persistence. And if you're waiting for passion to fall into your lap, you'll be waiting forever. We're fed lies about passion, that it's something instant, something easy. They tell you to find what you love, as if it's waiting for you, perfectly packaged, ready to fill your life with purpose. But the brutal truth? Passion isn't found. It's earned. It's grown, inch by inch, through exploration, through struggle, through experimentation, and failure. It's not handed to you. You have to bleed for it. Duckworth says that passion takes time, and she's right. But time alone isn't enough. It's what you do with that time that matters. You have to stick with it. You have to stay in the fight long after the initial excitement fades, long after the doubts creep in, long after the world tells you to quit. Because only then Only through persistence and grit can passion take root and grow into something powerful. But let's not romanticize this. The process of developing passion is not pretty. It's messy. It's frustrating. It's stumbling around in the dark, chasing interests that may lead nowhere, failing over and over again until you find the one thing that sets your soul on fire. And even when you find it, passion doesn't magically bloom overnight. It demands effort. It demands patience. It demands that you stick with it even when the excitement fades, even when the progress slows, even when it feels like you're going nowhere. This is where most people fail. They dabble. They try something new, get bored, and move on. They want passion without the work, purpose without the struggle. But passion doesn't work like that. Passion rewards those who stay. It rewards those who dig deep, who embrace the discomfort, who allow themselves to grow slowly, steadily, relentlessly. But here's the thing. Developing passion isn't just about what you do. It's about who you become in the process. When you commit to something, when you stick with it through the ups and downs, you don't just build passion. You build resilience. You build grit. You become the kind of person who doesn't give up, who doesn't settle, who doesn't stop until they've created a life that truly matters. And yes, it takes time. A long time. You will question yourself. You will wonder if you're wasting your energy, your effort, your life. But here's the dark truth you must embrace. There is no shortcut. There is no hack. Passion grows in the soil of persistence, watered by effort, illuminated by the light of time. And if you're not willing to give it the time it demands, you will never know the power of true passion. So, are you willing to wait? Are you willing to put in the work, to endure the frustration, to stumble and fall and get back up again? Are you willing to commit to the process, knowing that the rewards will not come quickly, but that they will come? Because passion isn't about the initial spark. It's about the fire you build over time. It's about finding something that matters, something that challenges you, something that forces you to grow, and then sticking with it until it becomes a part of you. It's about turning an interest into an obsession, a curiosity into a calling, a flicker into a flame. Passion takes time. It takes effort. It takes grit. But the rewards are worth every second, every struggle, every sacrifice. Because when you finally find your passion, when you've earned it through sweat and persistence, it will be unshakable. It will drive you forward when nothing else can. It will give your life purpose, meaning, and power. But make no mistake, passion isn't waiting for you. It's not something you find. It's something you build. And the only question is, are you willing to put in the time? Or will you let the fire die before it ever begins to burn? You've made it through another step in this journey, another chapter in the relentless grind. For those of you who stayed until the end, you've proven once again that you're not here to dabble. You're here to dominate. Lesson by lesson, we're sharpening the tools to carve out a place in a world that was never built for us. But this is just the beginning. The grind doesn't end when the video stops. It doesn't end when the sun sets, or when the weight feels unbearable. This is a lifetime war, fought every single day, with grit, discipline, and the unshakable belief that we will rise above. To our returning warriors, you are the backbone of GrimFace. Every time you show up, every time you take another step forward, you prove that this is more than a movement. It's a force. Keep pushing. Keep climbing. We're right here with you. And to our new recruits, you've taken the first step into the storm. But stepping in is easy. Staying in is where the real fight begins. The question is, will you keep showing up? Will you commit to this path, no matter how steep, no matter how dark. Remember this: success isn't for the faint-hearted. Happiness isn't handed out like a trophy. Passion takes time, resilience is forged in fire, and grit can be cultivated through discipline and purpose. If you want to level up, if you want to break free from the chains of this broken system, you'll have to march forward with courage, every damn day. We are GrimFace. Together, we are misfits, outcasts, rebels. Together, we rise. Together, we dominate.